Hello, sculpture friends. So, we are going to be starting on a new project which is called an assemblage. And what is an assemblage? Assemblage is an artistic process in which a three dimensional artistic composition is made from putting together found objects. Here is a piece by Robert Rauschenberg. It is an assemblage as well. It has a painting behind it. And you can see that some materials have been collaged into it. And then there is a bird and another object on the bottom of it, protruding out or hanging off of it. This is a mixed media piece, but you could consider it an assemblage because of all the different parts that came together, and it has a three dimensional quality to it. Here is a piece done by Pablo Picasso. It is called Maquette for Guitar, 1912. And this is kind of the early modern of assemblage. You can see it's cardboard, string, and wire. This piece is called Collage Number 9, Landscape 1974 by Native American artist George Morrison. He is an Ojibwe artist from up on the Grand Portage Reservation. And he is one of our treasured Minnesota artists. He does not only assemblages, but paintings as well. You are now going to hear a short clip about George Morrison. Well, now you're going to hear a short clip about George Morrison. Welcome to MN90, Minnesota History in 90 seconds. Picture Minnesota's North Shore, the rugged coastline, waves lapping against the rocks, and the sound of a stray loon calling out. You're probably familiar with the North Shore's natural beauty, but did you know the area is also responsible for the beautiful artwork of Minnesota artist George Morrison? Morrison grew up in Chippewa City, a few miles east of Grand Marais, and studied at the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. He went on to study in Paris, teach at the Rhode Island School of Design, and paint on Cape Cod. But his influences were always in Minnesota. A large wood collage hanging in the Minneapolis Institute of Art has some of Morrison's signature elements: abstract expressionist influences, the horizon line on Lake Superior, and acquired pieces of wood from the rugged North Shore. It was from those banks that Morrison's signature collage pieces took shape. Minneapolis Institute of Arts curator Joe Horscatcher talks about Morrison's work. And the way he organized the wood, you can almost see the waves and speckles. So to me, that really reflects his globalness, but also his classic Minnesota, creating these great works and having a great experience, as they say, up north. M90 is produced by Amber. Oops. And sorry about that. Just a little fun little snippet I found about George Morrison. Here's one of his paintings. He was skilled in a multitude of disciplines. As we continue on, I thought it would be kind of interesting to throw in one of my collages that I did, an assemblage. I did a painting and then a drawing, and then I added wire on it, and then I made a little underwear, and my kids were playing in the backyard, and I took a picture of them and mounted it onto a piece of plexiglass. This is some more assemblage construction work as well. The stuff was done by my husband, Danny Sadoff. He uses a variety of found objects, and if you may or may not remember from the beginning of the year, you watched a video about how he creates his art. We're going to talk about an artist named Louise Nevelson. She was an American sculptor known for her monumental, monochromatic wooden wall pieces and outdoor sculptures. She was born in Russia and emigrated with her family to the United States in the early 20th century. By the 1930s, she was attending art classes at the Art Student League of New York, and in 1941, she had her first solo exhibition. Nevelson experimented with early conceptual art using found objects,
dabbled in painting and printing before dedicating her life to sculpture. Usually created out of wood, her sculptures appear puzzle-like with multiple intricate cut pieces placed into a wall sculpture or independently standing pieces, often 3D. A unique feature of her work is that her figures are often painted in monochromatic black or white. A figure on the international art scene, Nevelson was showcased at the 31 Venice Biennial, and her work is seen in major collections in museums and corporations. Nevelson remains one of the most important women artists of the 20th century American sculptors. And so that's who she was. And here are some of examples of her work. You can see the single color she uses to downplay the identity of the individual objects and bring the work a majestic unity of form. At the same time, this is a play of shadows and lights. Here are some more. Here is one that she did in gold, and it's you can still tell it is a Louise Nevelson inspired piece. Here's another one I just absolutely love. All these pieces she found on the streets of New York and it ended up putting it together into a unique assemblage. Very dynamic in use of her linear line. It does feel very landscape like. And I like how this one kind of breaks the picture plane with using these round elements here and then the repeated graded shapes with the objects overlaying it. And then making some smaller assemblages out of boxes. So now we're on to Joseph Cornell. And Joseph Cornell was a outside artist. He was never formally trained. He was a collector and carefully juxtapositioned found objects in small glass front boxes. Cornell created visual poems in which surfaces, form, texture, and light played together. Using things we can see, Cornell made boxes about things we cannot see, ideas, memories, fantasies, and dreams. So we'll go on to look at some of his art. And to me, they are just so interesting that you know the story is there, but you don't necessarily know what the story is about. And it makes you think and it makes you question. Well, I wonder why he has this egg inside a glass. Why does he have four cups, it appears? It's so interesting to think about the storytelling that he is creating in these boxes. And this one, I absolutely love the idea here. This parrot kind of pulling the string, this ball, this little tiny jar of objects of things inside of it. Makes me wonder how he came up with this idea. And then the paper pieces that are semi removed in the back. Here's another one, and this one is you open up the cabinet and you see the special nest inside, and it's just the imagery that was selected and the ideas that are going on in here, the color choice, this subtle complementary colors of the blue and the yellow orange. Very lovely. So Joseph's philosophy was his collection is a diary, journal, picture gallery, museum, and clearinghouse for dreams and visions. So kind of like a storytelling box in a lot of ways. So with this project, here are our learning targets. So if we noticed and we looked at Joseph Cornell's pieces versus Louise Nevelson, we can see how color can affect or change a sculpture. We know that there are many types of sculptures. You know that there are a wide variety of materials used in sculptures. You know how to implement the elements and principles of design into your sculpture. You know how to create sculpture with assemblage of recyclables. You can create a 3D sculpture from cardboard using paper construction methods such as scoring, mitering edges. And you know and understand the artwork of or artists of Joseph Cornell and Louise Nevelson. So for this assignment, you'll need a box. A shoebox works well. This project teaches you methods of working with found objects. You will be expected to gather materials for sharing, and I will have plenty as well in the classroom, but I may not have what you're looking for. The goal will be for this class to produce work that integrates materials in a formally strong and structurally sound manner. As well, with all assignments, these works must be presented in a critique and defended technically and aesthetically. So, the contents. So, your assemblage should be intensely personal and revealing. Maybe not to us, but to you. This does not mean it should be completely without secrets. A complex story needs mystery and depth, metaphor, obscure imagery, symbolism, and historical references convey layers of meaning and emotion. A narrative is not necessarily literal. So, with this assemblage, you need to choose your materials, your choice. However, practical consideration must be taken into account in order to accomplish this project in a given amount of time, space, tools, abilities, and skills. So, common found materials include processed wood scraps, natural wood scraps, painted and rusted metal objects, fabric, furniture elements, architectural elements, and so on and so forth. There are a bunch of different things. Now you are going to choose which path you want to go down. If you want to go down the Louise Nevelson path or the Joseph Cornell. And I have some student work to show you. So you'll see here that this is a Louise Nevelson inspired. Why is it a Louise Nevelson inspired piece? We can tell because of the black and white color choices and the geometric shapes. Here is an assemblage of Joseph Cornell inspired. And I'm just going to go through these and you can just kind of look and see. Lots of interesting resolutions. And it is your choice how you want to resolve this. Lots of interesting ideas and problem solving. Now, you are welcome to find an old box, but a shoebox works best. I mean, if you have a wooden box that you can use, fabulous. But in worst case scenario, we use a shoebox. This one was done out of an old typewriter case, and this friend went to town. Lots of different ways of problem solving this project. And these next ones, you'll see that there is titles. For this project, you will need to write a title for your piece. And you'll be expected to write a statement about your artwork. I think it's always helpful to see what other students have done from the past. So, your assignment is to come up with a list of 20 ideas. Refine the list to 10 and expand on them. Maybe list out the supplies you could use. Show your list to 4 other people. It can be students in the class or family members or friends at home. Based on your list, you're going to revise 2 ideas, sketch them out, and conference with me to talk about your ideas. And here on your assignment sheet, you're going to have this link. And I think this link is really a good one to look at. And I'll bring it over here. It didn't pop up. You can see what other people have done. And this is the Joseph Cornell Box.com gallery. And you can see what other people have done. You can click in and zoom over different people's ideas. So it's a place to start if you have no ideas. So again, you need to come up with a list of 20 ideas, and I'll want to see that list of 20 ideas, refine down to 10, and expand on them. Get feedback, revise 2 ideas, sketch them out, your ideas, show them to me, and we need to have a conversation. All right, friends, have a star quality day. Make good choices. And remember that kindness matters in this very big world. If you have any questions, please email me and we'll figure it out together. Bye now.